What's up, guys? It's your boy Zowoki, back out with some more of the Chris Watts and Nicole Kessinger's videos. And this one's a little, I shouldn't say it's very confusing. I shouldn't say that it's not possible. It is possible. But what if all the stuff that he was throwing away in the dumpster also was NK's? Is that a possibility? Could be. We're going to look at it right now because obviously Chris Watts' neighborhood dog search missed a vital clue at the garbage dump, and pretty much more of the mistress Watts, Chris Watts and her, or the my goodness, I can't talk today. The mistress of more information that we should probably know. So with that being said, grab a chair, get comfortable. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting that wiper icon down at the bottom right. Hit the bell icon next to it, so when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that I posted that video, and then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And with that being said, let's get into the video. And the reason why I say this whole thing when it comes to Chris Watts and this garbage dump is, again, I can't say for certainty that the dog handlers were doing their job, because I really don't know if they're doing their job or not. But you can definitely see that it doesn't seem like they pay attention enough to how the dog is reacting and so forth, because should they mark it on like a sheet or something that says, hey, we need to look at this spot, we need to look at this spot and that spot, they don't do anything. They're just like, oh, that might be of interest. That's weird. Like, I don't see them doing it like they should when I've seen other videos of dog searches and they're on it. So that being said, let's get into this and see what more could possibly be found. And with the help of Michelle After Dark, if you guys have not already, go over to her channel, subscribe, comment, like, and share. She's getting closer and closer to 100K, and we definitely want to help her as much as we can. And let's get into the video.
It's Michelle here with another Chris Watts video. And if you're familiar with the Watts case, then you will recognise this footage very well. This is the moment Chris comes home to be met by Officer Coonrod and Nicole and Nicholas Atkinson. So Chris,
I want to see his
getting
boots.
out the car and
look at his boots, because I can't tell if they're the new ones or the old ones.
Coming to do a whole lot of lying, isn't he? I'm going to take you a day ahead of this to the dog search. I've done videos about
the day ahead. I thought she said the past day.
Cody the Labrador, Jane's dog, who alerted in the cellar, in the basement. But I want to take you out on the streets now, because Cody was also trying to tell them something while he was out there. First of all, before we get to that, this is Chris's trip report. The police got
I haven't
from
seen this.
Anadarko, and this is for the 13th. Just before Chris came home. So you can see here that he reached his home, but previous to that, he'd stopped for, as a stop duration, he stopped there for 4 minutes at or around 6507 Black Mesa or Mesa Road. So let's take a look at a map. That's where
it is.
Google Maps takes me. That's the address. This is Chris's house here. If I just move my thingy out of the way a minute. So this is Chris's house. This is Betty's. This is Nate's. Steeple Rock Drive and Clubhouse.
What was that video we were looking at when Nicole was pinging in locations? She pinged, hold on. So she pinged when on her phone a few times she was over here. Here, I'm going to get a pointer here. Okay, so if we look at this, we look at this one. This house is the Watts house. Then we have Nate's house. We have Betty's house. On this road, I think it's this house right here, was where her phone pinged, okay? That phone pinged there. It pinged over here. It pinged up here. And somewhere along this road right here, I can't remember which one it was, it pinged there too. It was in one of my earliest or one of my latest videos within the last couple weeks. But those are the 4 spots besides her pinging at the Watts house. She was here, there, here, here, and here. It's so ironic to see that the spots that NICHOL was at with her phone ping are the kind of almost the same ones that the dogs were in. Just kind of ironic.
And Black Mesa Road is here, and that's the address that Google Maps takes me to. So now we're set to go to the 14th of August. I've dialed Cody down because he has quite a loud bark. So I've dialed him down, but I've increased the human voices. Not that the humans were good at all, but just so that we hear what the humans are saying, and we can still hear Cody. But what's happening here is he goes a little bit berserk behind this. I think it's like a portaloo, portable toilet or something.
They don't even look inside.
That's for the workmen working on the site there. So that's the situation. And Cody goes a little bit nuts. He's going mad, alerting, and he goes woof woof, and then he waits a space, and then he goes woof woof again. And then he leaves a space, and then he goes woof woof again. And people keep telling me in my comments that no, alert dogs, tracker dogs, trail dogs, they're not trained to bark. They're trained to sit down. No, some trail dogs, some track dogs are trained to bark.
And I have a friend that is a police officer that has a canine unit, and his dog does both. His dog will sit, and his dog will bark. It's kind of depending on what is what. So normally if it's trauma, it'll sit down. If it also is able to seek out drugs and bark and stuff like that. This dog is like one of those expensive like German Shepherd. Like this dog is scary. So I can see that this dog barks here.
And this is an alert bark. This is not a natural bark. This is a trained woof woof, space woof woof. Right? Can we be clear on that?
It's
Jay
2
gets
barks.
a phone call.
My dad wants to talk to you.
So she says, my dad wants to talk to you. So this is Jeff's daughter. So Jeff is phoning Jane.
Here.
Well, that's a porta john.
So Jane goes off. They get tangled up in the
Did somebody use the porta john?
leash. So Jane goes and takes the call. All the while, Cody has been barking, and he's been waiting for Jane. He's been alerting to Jane because she's his human, and he's trying to tell her something. Okay.
Hey,
look,
over
I've
here.
got a dog who's half Labrador. I love Labradors. They're excellent dogs, and I would trust any dog, but I'd particularly trust a Labrador. And Cody is a very good dog, and he is trying his best to communicate to humans who are not listening. Jane's coming back. Let's hear what she says.
No, I know what. He wants to talk. Okay, I know what he's doing. Jeff said the scent from the house is over here.
Right, so she knows what he's doing. Jeff said the scent from the house is in there. So Cody was absolutely right to alert at this spot.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Is something in the toilet?
Oh, wow. Okay. Because I said, I don't know why you do this. She would alert.
So she says it's the...
Because what if they put some evidence inside the toilet to throw it off because it's smelly and put like toilet paper over it to cover it up? I mean, it's a possibility. I can't say that that's what it is, but could it?
The only way to show that it works is to plant a scent for the dog to find. So he's found the planted scent. So let's bear that one in mind. They wander off to do some actual searching now.
The house is over. They discovered that. Okay.
So he discovered that.
outside here? Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just pointing the map here, just to remind you where Chris spent 4 minutes. Chris spent 4 minutes here.
And Nicole's phone pinged there too.
Yeah. So it will all become clear as to where we're heading, where Cody is leading us.
Is there another street over there? There is a...
Yep. I'll cut
Let's go
right up there.
to the blockades. And Jeff and I both agreed that this evening needed by 2 o'clock. We probably should
Yep.
cut it down.
But
So
what if,
note the red dumpsters.
I was say, what if the girls went into that porta john? Like if they went on a walk with their mom and they used it, I highly doubt that Shanann would let them go in there because it was more or less dirty. But maybe they went by it. I don't know. I'm thinking about that porta john too much.
Now, when Chris confessed, I think that was at the Wisconsin confession, he said that he put his clothes and stuff, you know, the things that he didn't want people to find, in a red dumpster on his way home.
But did they check the dumpster? Did they get the stuff from the dumpster? And was there more in there as well?
From the work site from Survey before he went and met Coonrod and Nicole and Nicholas. So we see a street sign coming up here, so we'll get there in a minute.
Hi.
Copy, are you out with 348?
The dog needs some water.
Right, so we can see this coming up.
Starling. And
So what does that say?
Sterling. So Sterling. So they must be right here. And Black Mesa. Right there. Okay.
Black Mesa
So they're right
Road.
here right
So this
now.
is Black Mesa Road. So we are walking along here, and you can see there the clubhouse. So we're currently about here. So we've just crossed this street. So that's that one. So we're here. Clubhouse there. Here. Right thereabouts. Not quite there yet, because that's that road up there. Okay, so we've got our bearings, so we're here. And also bear in mind, ingrain this address or thereabouts into your brain. We are here, we are walking north up this with the clubhouse to our right. Okay, along Black Mesa or Mesa Road. So very soon, watch Cody. I'm going to move this out of the way so that you can see Cody's behaviour. Right now, he's got his nose to the ground. He's tracking. He knows his job. He'll track for a little bit and then he won't be able to find a scent on the road. So he'll put his nose up in the air and he'll sniff.
Paul, over here. Paul. Oh, he marked on the corner.
Okay, so he's getting excited and he's leading Jane. He's leading Jane. He knows his job.
It.
So nose in the air. He's
Pulling
sniffing
like crazy.
He's potentially found something on the wind.
But could the wind throw him off?
Investigating. Locating.
I'm guessing the wind would throw him off because it's scent traveling.
Sniffing again.
Sniffing like crazy.
Really, the people should have more issues.
Okay, no bark.
Johnson 823, dispatch status. With ticks and fleas from the prairie dogs than they do the oil.
I wish they'd just pay attention rather than talking about ticks and fleas, because Cody's very alert now. Pay attention.
Yes.
Sam, go ahead and send me that parking complaint. I'll be around for that. And you can change my zone to chief.
Nose in the air.
See? Oh. He's making sure his owner is coming.
Look where he's looking. Look what he starts to do. He starts to focus this direction. He starts to focus
So it
over
must
here.
be like the one that's
What he's trying to do
here.
in a moment is to get through this fence.
Because you probably, as a handler, need
So
to
he
watch
keeps going back to the
dog's
fence.
movement.
And look, he actually stops.
Hi.
He keeps stopping. And he's trying to find a way through
hole.
the fence. Officer Lines, move.
When he stops, I'm going to stop.
So she says, when he stops, I stop. But he kept stopping and looking through the fence, through this wiring. Oh, dear me. And Cody's like, listen to me. Take me through the fence, please.
Oh, you just wish you could plug into their brains to know what they're saying.
So he stops, and then she says, go on. He keeps stopping, looking directly across.
He's not going to
Now,
bark for
I
no
know that
reason.
we've got the benefit of hindsight, haven't we? We know that Chris put his clothes or whatever into one of these dumpsters, and we know that he stopped up here, right? We're getting to the spot now, because
Which
that's
Nicole
that
Kessinger
other
was at
road
too.
that's directly across from the address that Google gives me. So it's either this dumpster or this dumpster, and he keeps stopping, looking, and he's now starting to alert. She tells him to go on. And he can't get through the fence.
See, he's looking.
Look at him there.
I'm not a dog handler, I know.
Intently looking. He's stopping. He's signaling.
I don't know how many times my dogs have done this. And like, I mean, my dogs are not sniffing trauma cadaver dogs, but if they want something, if they know something is like over somewhere, they'll bark at me and like point in the direction and kind of like nudge me over. And then eventually I find what they want and I give it to them. And that's exactly what they wanted. Listen to your animals.
I'm telling her. And she says what? And then he's like, oh, well, whatever. And he wanders off. And then she follows him. And she follows him because they then go investigating something in the field. And Officer Lines ends up walking all the way up to the end of the road here, where the fence kind of ends. And then she wanders off to follow Jane. Now, Jane spots something and thinks that, well, we'll go over this way. Doesn't matter that Cody's looking through the fence to get to the opposite side. But no, she told him to go on. What's the point in sending a dog out to trail a scent when you're not going to listen to them? Exactly. This is another example of humans thinking they know better and dogs actually knowing it all. I want to ask a question. If the Chris Watts case is over, as it should be, then what's left? And I argue, as I've argued before, the story is absolutely not over. Let's get into that.
Amen.
All right, so let's start with the live stream on Zavgirl's channel with CDT interviewing Sherilyn Cadle. Some expected and some not so expected information received from that. Firstly, we found out that perhaps Nicole Kessinger, perhaps Chris wasn't the first married man that Nicole tried to get her teeth into. One of Zav's viewers actually stated that she knew Nicole in passing, and Nicole had targeted her husband. This was before the murders. Zav got her on live after the Sherilyn Cadle interview, so that was interesting.
It was.
And that's something that I totally would expect, honestly. NICHOL comes off as a game player, the way that
She
played
loves a
Kevin
challenge.
Kobach from Colorado Police says it all to me.
She says she's got to be number one all the time. Like, she loves a challenge. So she's going to love the challenge into this.
I used to know someone who NICHOL reminds me of. She'd target men. She'd do it for a game. It was a laugh. If she could take a man off someone, then she'd do it. She didn't want him. She'd just do it. NICHOL seems that kind of person to me. That doesn't tell us anything specifically, though, about any possible role that NICHOL had with the murders. You know, if Chris wanted NICHOL, then he should have divorced Shanann. But yeah, that would have cost him money, wouldn't it? And I stand by the assertion I made, was it last week or the week before, in a video, that I think Chris started to put a plan together after that heart-to-heart he and NICHOL had at 2825 Saratoga Trail. It was when NICHOL freaked out when she saw the house and the pictures of Shanann and the girls, and she said, "But you've got so much, Chris, and they're so little. You've got so much.
Such a bad actor.
Why are you giving this up? You should try and solve it with your family." And of course, in my opinion,
sending nude pictures
didn't mean
to him.
it. She was calling his bluff. But Chris, being the somewhat naive and inexperienced man that he was...
Wow, this girl lived 3 miles from NK. She has a rep for targeting married men, my husband included. Get out of here! In my opinion, the NK truth will never be told. She's 100% protected, and I have no doubts she was there complicit.
And perhaps with... you know, the capacity to just think literally and not think between the lines. He became mega confused. He was a great...
Nicole Morgan, if you are watching this somehow, some way, can you message me?
target for her if she was a game player. But I think it was that day. I think that it sealed Shanann, Nico, Bella and Celeste's fate. At least that was the beginnings of it. And I stand by that. Sherilyn also said that there's going to be an arrest within the next week. Honestly, I'm going to believe that when I see it, because Sherilyn has made claims like that before. Exactly the same claim before.
I so
I'm
wish
sorry,
she would be
Sherilyn.
arrested.
I don't believe that.
Wouldn't that be a title of a YouTube video? NK has been arrested. Or Nicole Kessinger has been arrested. Oh!
Unless it actually happens, and then I will say, I was wrong, you were right, but I don't think there's going to be an arrest this week. Like I said, I'll believe it when I see it. But while that live was going on, Lana Banana went live herself, and she said that the Watts got their money back from the lawyers, and it was the family themselves that stopped it, not Chris. Apparently Chris was all for it. I do not believe that. I absolutely do not believe that. But it was the family that stopped it. They think he should stay in prison because they found out something on Tuesday that changed their mind. Now, again, I'll believe this when I see it, because they've known for 2.5 years, but they haven't believed it. They haven't believed it, perhaps, rightly, as was discussed. They've not been allowed to. Sherilyn talked about Kim Kaufman. I've said in videos that they're only at the very earliest stages of the grief process. They're stuck. And now this complex grief that they're going to have to work through is going to take them years if they ever, ever, ever will recover. So I maintain that I do have sympathy with the Watts, although I don't particularly like them and I don't agree with the way that they've gone about things. I have sympathy with them because they have lost 3 grandchildren. And for all intents and purposes, they've lost a son that now they've got to come to terms with the fact that he is a multiple killer. He's a family annihilator. They have to come to terms with that. But it's people like Kim Kaufman who've been giving Cindy particularly false hope. it's people like
I
him
think that he's going to get
who
out
have
one
been
day.
responsible for this ongoing situation of Cindy, Ronnie and Jamie trying to get Chris out, trying to get Chris to fight when he's said all along that he's taking responsibility for it. So maybe the lawyers have unearthed something and that's been communicated to them. You know, some damning evidence.
I mean,
perhaps.
we have like a lot of stuff on these guys. Chris being the main guy, but there is stuff on NK, and they need to put 2 and 2 together, but we can't because we need to talk to her, and nobody wants to talk to her because they feel like it's not going to do anything. I can tell you I don't know how I can tell you certainly, but I feel it in my bones, my soul, that she was involved.
Because there's so many holes in the discovery, and that investigation was just locked down, shut down far too soon. Even if Chris had made a full confession to all the murders on the 15th, there still had to be the due diligence to go and find the evidence. There was the immediate shutdown of the house, which was a crime scene. The defence went in, and then
Exactly.
you know, once November came and it was clear that Chris was going to plead guilty to all, that was that.
But even
And maybe that is that.
Even they said, these guys, they come in here. There's no markers, there's no tape, there's no indicators. It's like it was just a normal house. It's like, what?
Maybe that is the fate of this case. That 2.5 years later, all of this speculation, going through the discovery with a fine-tooth comb, the creators who have found this evidence and that evidence and speculated this, that, the other, me included, maybe we've all been wasting our time. But actually, I don't think so. And this is why.
I'll say, do you guys think we're wasting our time on this? I've kind of thought about that a few times. I'm like, am I doing anything that's going to make a difference in this case? Is this going to bring about Nicole Kessinger and actually do something about it? I mean, I can't look in the future, because if I look in the future, I would know who's winning the Super Bowl and what the Powerball numbers are. I have a feeling somehow, some way she's involved. I see her getting arrested someday. I just don't know when. I can picture it, and the headlines and so forth. It's like you want it, and you're willing to do anything to take care of it, which I feel like these videos are doing that. Hopefully one day this will do something with a new DA, a different judge. I don't know what, but I feel like it's on to something. But again, like she just said, do you feel like we're wasting time or wasting effort, wasting talking on deaf ears? I'd like to know your guys' thoughts.
I maintain Chris's case is over.
Yes.
Chris is guilty. Chris is never getting out of prison. But this, for me, is why the story is not over. Unanswered questions. Not about Chris. Yes, there's lots of unanswered questions about exactly what Chris did, but let's leave that aside. The fact that maybe we'll never know exactly. Maybe the truth of the murders is so terrible. Maybe it's better we don't know. And here I will give just Larry an honourable mention, because I like Larry, I like his thinking, and I think he's closer to the truth than anyone. There was a cover-up of some kind. Oil companies are very rich.
That's a big one.
Anadarko could get investigation shut down. That's the line that, if possible, should be investigated. And alongside that, why was Nicole Kessinger let off the hook? The police were building a case. She was a person of interest. Why did they just let her go? Because even if Chris pled guilty, if there were other people involved in the murders, they should also be brought to justice.
Thank you, Michelle. I'm 100% behind
Because you
you.
caught one person, you let everybody else go free. That's
Exactly.
not justice. That's not how
That
criminal
is
justice
not.
works. So for me, for this channel, I'm going to spend some videos really digging into Nicole Kessinger.
Ooh,
What's beyond the basics of the
I'd
investigation.
love to do
I
a
think that's the
collab
next
with her.
stage for this story. But let me know what you think down below.
Yes, like she said, let me know down below. I really love that Chris Watts' case is over, but the NK story is just getting started. That sends chills through my body. I don't know about you guys. Again, comment your thoughts about what you had seen here, what you guys think about if this is doing anything, if it's not doing anything. Are we wasting our time? Are we talking on deaf ears? I'd like to know your guys' thoughts. Definitely go over to Michelle After Dark. Give her some love. Subscribe, comment, like, and share. We will see you guys in the next one. Keep it real, keep it safe. And as always, keep nerding on. And we will see you guys in the next video.